Hi everybody, this is chapters 6 to 11 of Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Amanda did 1 to 5 yesterday, so this is chapters 6 to 11. So Anna's been in Paris about a week, and at the moment she's not really having that great a time. I don't think she's actually given it at this point. She doesn't want to give it a chance because I think she feels a bit like it's she didn't want to be there in the first place, so she's going to fight it with every bit of her being, which you can understand if she didn't really feel like she had a choice in the matter in the first place. So chapter 6, she's been there as a week, as I said, and she's just sort of getting to know the dynamics of the friendships between everybody she's met so far. So she learns in chapter 6 about Josh and Etienne specifically, and finds out that they're really, really close, that Josh is really, really artistic, and Etienne is sort of envious of that. He likes that art and things like that. We also find out that Bridget from America, Anna's best friend, that she tried out for the band and she didn't actually get into it because apparently the boys wouldn't respect her. Which is ridiculous because at least give her a chance, but apparently that's what her teacher thought, which just really sucked. So Anna talks to her online until 3 AM and she sleeps in the next day, so she has to rush to the cafeteria. Now she feels a bit more confident because there's not as many people around, and so she actually speaks to the chef for the first time and finds out that he actually speaks English, which I thought was really funny, that she'd been avoiding him all week and then it turns out actually she could have asked for whatever she wanted and she didn't have to survive on all the breads and things like that she'd been eating. So I really liked that part. I thought it was funny and the chef came across as really, really nice. So she talks to Josh and St. Clair about Paris and about St. Clair, about how long he's actually been with Ellie, and you start to get a sniffling that she's a bit sort of maybe interested maybe in Etienne, so that's sort of the first part of that. You find out that the day before was Etienne's birthday, but he doesn't like to celebrate. And Anna jokes a little bit here and there, and she'll get him a cake and things like that, but he is dead set against it. And she admits that she hasn't actually been out in Paris, even though she's been in Paris for a full week, and she's had no adult supervision from her parents, but she still hasn't been out, which is, you can understand why they're a bit sort of, well, why haven't you done that? So chapter 7. She is set to spend the night basically in the dorm as she has the rest of the time. So she eats her way through a bounty bar, which are lovely, must admit, and basically just plays around with her website because she has, as people will know, she has a review website, so she changes the banner and does a bit things like that. Later on she gets an email from Bridget, and she basically says that she went to the cinema with Torf, that he's asked her out to the cinema. And Bridget's, obviously she seems excited, but Anna doesn't know how to take it because obviously Torf is her man. She wants to go back to him and start her relationship where it's left off at, and even though it hasn't really got started from everything that I've read about it so far, but she still wants to, and that's whole part of her, I think, grabbing hold of and still keeping hold of her life in America as firmly as she can. So even though I think it's a Friday night, she actually starts doing homework until St. Clair is at the door, and he manages to convince Anna that she really should go out in Paris for the night and with him, and he's really sweet, and he looks around her room and looks at the photos. He doesn't seem that impressed by Torf and the picture of the manager, and starts calling him Sideburns, but he likes the picture of her little brother. And it ends with them having a bit of a heart-to-heart about St. Clair saying his parents are divorced and that his dad isn't a nice person and things like that, but it doesn't go into too much detail. They kind of end it with a pillow fight, but you can start to see that there's a trust growing there, and I quite like that. It's just sort of the subtle hints, so hopefully they'll build on that as the book goes on. Chapter 8, Toph calls for Bridget and asks for the phone number, calls Anna and asks for Bridget's phone number. He wants her to join her band, and at the time St. Clair's in the room and he is trying to speed her up as if he's got some there in a rush, and Anna makes a comment on she doesn't know why, because they didn't seem like it was that late for that. But I think at that point, I think he's jealous of Toph, I think, and he doesn't really want Anna to be on the phone and things like that with him. So Anna's taken out after the phone call, taken out to Paris for the first time, and oh, I absolutely loved it. I mean, he just came across as really sweet, and he took her to, where was it? Ground Zero, I think it was, or Point Zero, and it's just so romantic. And when he was trying to, that was the lovely part, when he was trying to make Anna feel less American, because she was talking about how she stands out and things like that, I just thought that was really sweet. And he's going to get her some sort of gift to make her feel less American. So I don't know what that is, but it should be really, really good, hopefully, because he seems like he's going to seems like the sort of person that will put a lot of thought into something like that. Etienne tells him about his mum and that he's an artist, and just by how he talks about his mum in comparison to his dad, you can actually tell that he really, really loves his mum wholeheartedly, and that's really nice. And Anna does notice that he doesn't actually talk about his father. And Anna is also shocked that Etienne can't drive, but that's because obviously I think in America you drive a lot younger than in Europe, because I know in here we can't drive until we're, I think, 17, 18, around that age, whereas I think you start at 15. So obviously she's got a few years ahead of Etienne on that. And that's really, really, it was funny how she was shocked that she couldn't, that she could do something he couldn't, because I think she thinks he's a bit more sophisticated and comes across as a bit older than she does. So she takes him to Point Zero of the roads of France, where basically every road, every place in France is measured from this one point. And he called it the beginning of everything, which was just a really great idea, because it's the beginning of her adventure in France, I suppose, and that does come across. It just is quite a romantic place to take her, because it could be the beginning of anything. What does he mean? Anything further than that? Does he mean the beginning of a relationship between them? Does he mean the beginning of her adventure in France? What does he mean? So chapter 9, Anna makes a wish on Point Zero, and deep down I think she knows that she wants the answer to be, she wants to be with Etienne, but she's fighting against it completely. She doesn't want to admit that that's what she wants. She's thinking that she really originally wanted Toph, and she still does, and she wants to go back to America, but at the same time she's intrigued by Etienne, and she doesn't want to leave him, so she asks for what is best for her, and I'm hoping that the wish is that what's best for her will be Etienne, because he's just lovely. I've already fallen in love with Etienne, he's lovely. And Anna also learns that Paris is full of cinemas, and Paris just appears to be so much more exciting and interesting than she ever expected. So I have a feeling that the rest of the book she's going to be watching films and spending a lot of time at the cinema, and doing her little computer thing. Anna meets Ellie, and it doesn't really go great. I thought Ellie came across as quite rude, because obviously Etienne was on a night out. Even if it was just in friendship, he was on a night out with Anna. And then Ellie comes along and she literally drags him away. She doesn't ask, does he want to go? He almost tries to explain at one point that he's with Anna. But Ellie it's her way or no way. And I think not only does it show weakness in Etienne in that he didn't speak up, but also a bit of a selfishness in Ellie herself, in that she didn't even ask. Even if Anna wanted to go along, it was like, no, we're going out ourselves. And I just thought that was quite, when there was no pre-arranged plan type thing, and I didn't like that very much. Chapter 10, since the night out, Etienne has sat with Anna at every meal, and he teases her, and they joke back and forth, and I think there's the start of a a relationship there between them, because he helps with the homework, and it just seems like they are fitting really, really well together as like a pair. And Anna, at this point, she's starting to get jealous of Ellie. She's thinking about her a lot, and not in the nicest of ways, which after her one meeting you can understand why she'd be a bit sort of grumpy about being towards her. And she thinks Meredith is jealous of her relationship with Etienne, because Meredith does love Etienne, has a big crush on him, but nothing has really happened in that direction for her, and she thinks that the blossoming relationship between, even if it's only friendship, that there's maybe a bit of jealousy going there, which probably I'm thinking there will be at some point. And she decides that she needs to start going out on her own and going to the movies, but obviously with her not speaking French, she's going to take someone with her the first time, and she makes a plan that she'll write down how they buy a ticket. So she asks Rashmi, I think that's how you say her name, and she takes notes, or she's going to take notes on how she can actually get the tickets. As a class, they're going to scavenger hunt, and Anna is able to see more of Paris, but she's the last one to be picked for the team, and I think it's Amanda is the one that she's having trouble with at the moment. Amanda's been a bit of a mean girl, and it's just not going well between them, so she was picked last. And Etienne did try to say, I'll only be on your team if Anna can be, but it didn't work out, and she didn't. So Anna was left to be last till picked, but she was picked for Rashmi's team. And then chapter 11, finally, Etienne causes a fight between himself and his friends because of all the time he spends with Ellie, and how she never visits anymore. Because if you remember, Ellie left the previous year, so she's moved on, and now I think the friends are feeling a bit sort of that she thinks she's better than them, and she's moved on, and Etienne is dragged in that direction. So his loyalties are torn, his girlfriend or his friends, and so it causes a bit of a fight between them. But still, he joins everybody at the cinema that night, and catches Anna making notes on how to buy a ticket. He makes a funny comment on she spelt it wrong, even though she was spelling it phonetically. He didn't know that, but he's obviously caught her out with her plan, which I'm not sure Anna was pleased about, because it's showing a bit of a vulnerability, I think. And I'm not sure she really likes to show that vulnerable side of herself. And during the film, even though it's a film Anna has been really looking forward to, she actually spends more time looking at Etienne than she does at the film. And Etienne himself seems to be doing the same thing. There's a bit of sort of body language there, a bit of footsie almost going between them. So I really like that. So it's really interesting. It just seems to be starting to hot up all the romance there. But I think there's definitely going to be some sort of romance between them. And I hope it's something really good. At the moment I'm loving it. Love Etienne, think he's absolutely great, and hopefully it's going to carry on being as good as it has been for the first 11 chapters, because I have really enjoyed it. But I think Amanda's on tomorrow. I'm not sure how many chapters she's doing, but it'll be about the same number, I would think. Sort of say maybe 12 to 16, 17, something like that, and she'll be on tomorrow, but I'll write in the information bar at the bottom what chapters Amanda is doing tomorrow. So thank you very much, and I hope you're enjoying it so far. If you've read it before, comment on what you think of Etienne and things like that. If you're reading along with us, please dig in and let us know what you're thinking, and we'll reply, etc, etc. So thank you very much, and I hope you're enjoying the book so far. Bye.